My name is Brian, and this speech is for my persuasive speech for fundamentals of oral comm. Here's my audience: Armand, Tujan, and Alex. Start my timer. Okay. Traffic in major metropolitan areas around the United States is an impetus for thousands of deaths yearly. Today, we will discuss how American car-based infrastructure and design is the cause for so many of these deaths, and how improving the city design is important for improving America. I've been interested in public policy and city design for a long time. In fact, my goal would be to work in public policy one day, which is why this topic is so important to me. Furthermore, spending large amounts of time in cars also causes obesity, one of the leading causes of deaths in America. Cars cause pollution, and traffic jams commonly cause hours of delay in metro areas. It is clear that current city design that features car-centric infrastructure is not efficient, and far from helping us live our lives, it is harming us. Returning to a human-centric city design would alleviate traffic issues by providing alternative transportation methods, as well as improve the health of Americans around the country. Many of you may not be familiar with how city design in foreign countries work, and why America is so unique and how car-centric it is. So showing those differences is a good place to start to show how American infrastructure could catch up to other developed countries. City infrastructure in America is based around the automobile instead of the person or the walker. This means that when civil engineers and planners create a city, they think of how design would affect cars and drivers before they think about planning for the pedestrians. Being a pedestrian in a city that cares about cars first is a dangerous predicament. In a 2024 article by the Institute for Transportation and Development Policy titled Better Together, Walkable Cities and Public Transport, over 1 million traffic-related deaths occurred globally each year, with a majority of these victims being pedestrians. Human-centric infrastructure puts pedestrians first, meaning that automobile drivers need to be more mindful about how they drive, as they are not the ones that the infrastructure was made for. They are essentially made second-class citizens in the nation of transportation, essentially. Automobile-centric infrastructure is not only a danger to pedestrians, but the environment is also a victim. The environment takes the brunt of the damage from a car-centric city. Cars are, in fact, one of the most inefficient modes of transportation in terms of energy and carbon emissions. With this inefficacy, climate change continues to grow as an issue. In a 2024 article published by the UN titled Transportation, over 2.2 tons of carbon emissions can be saved by switching from cars to public transportation per individual. Switching from cars to public transit has a massive impact on carbon emissions by making everyday transportation more carbon efficient, making an entire city less car-centric and energy-centric. Promoting public transportation as well as walking and biking could make the reduction of carbon emissions even more pronounced. City planners could protect green spaces for generations to come by implementing more alternative transport methods and making them more viable than individual driving. Furthermore, pollution and lower air quality has been an issue in large cities for decades. From New York to Los Angeles, air quality is consistently poorer in metros. Much of this deterioration in air quality can be attributed to dense vehicle concentration, an article published by the Clean Air Fund states. The link between health and car-centric infrastructure doesn't just stop at air quality, however. They also have a strong relationship with obesity, one of America's greatest and most important problems in recent decades. In fact, obesity is now one of the leading issues in health in America. In a report titled Overweight and Obesity Statistics by the National Institute of Health, over 40% of American citizens are now considered obese. This is an epidemic. This growing issue within America can also be linked with city design as well as time spent in cars. Obesity rates within communities that are less car-centric and integrate walking as primary modes of transportation have significantly lower obesity rates than in the States. These communities can include metropolitan areas within Japan, Sweden, and significant numbers of Western European countries. Within Japan, for example, the rate of obesity, according to the Global Nutrition Report, is as low as 4.3%. The correlation between cars and obesity is so strong, in fact, that there is a percentage rise in chance of obesity per hour spent in a car on average per day. According to a report in the Journal of Preventative Medicine titled Obesity Rates with Community Design, Physical Activity, and Time Spent in Cars in 2022, it states that each hour spent in a car resulted in a 6% increase in chances of obesity. Yet every kilometer walked per day reduces the chance of obesity by 4.8%. This shows that city designers would be doing the inhabitants a great benefit by making alternative methods of transportation more viable, such as walking or biking, as doing so not only decreases the obesity rates, but also increases their longevity and their general health in the future. Modern American infrastructure and city planning are a far cry from what the American people need, and more importantly, deserve. The car-centric infrastructure causes needless pollution, higher obesity rates, and needlessly dangerous streets for pedestrians. We, the people, require and deserve infrastructure that alleviates these concerns and issues and reflects what we want as people. Think of the thousands of Americans who would have lived had we chosen to prioritize other methods of transportation instead of building our cities around cars. By changing American city design for the better, it would create so many benefits to society.